America is the embodiment of the seven deadly sins. Our entire lifestyle and culture is driven by them, no less. Pride. We're American, the quote greatest country on the planet. And more or less
New alert marked on navigation, Tenno.
we believe ourselves superior because we have stuff and carry a big stick. If you really want to dumb it down, that is what we are and where we are at. Envy. This has stemmed and is perpetuated and encouraged by social media. Everyone else has something that we want, whether it be material or personal or metaphysical fulfillment. Whether it be, the fancy new Mercedes or a nice new sports car, the newest phone, a perfect relationship, whatever it may be, everyone envies someone else for something they have. That is part of what our culture is built on. It just simply is. Advertising and every other source that gives us input that is vying for our attention and trying to get our money is banking on this fact. Advertisements are beautiful lies. They say, oh, without this product, without this thing, you are inferior or you are not as much. You should have this because. Why do you think that easily recognizable and famous individuals are used in advertising? It feeds into it. The other component of this too is, let's say that you have a neighbor that just bought a brand new vehicle. They got themselves, I don't know, let's say a really nice Lexus. Top trim, all the bells and whistles, brand new 2025. It's gorgeous. Beautiful color, has all the features that you wish you could have on a vehicle. But you're not the biggest fan of Lexus. You enjoy a Mercedes or a BMW a little bit more, or a Range Rover. Envy is what drives an individual and motivates an individual to go, I want that but better. I want that but to a greater degree. So you go out now, you didn't need to do this, but you now go out and you trade in your 4-year-old vehicle, let's just say, and you get a brand new, vehicle size up. So instead of a sedan, let's say you get a hatchback or a larger sedan, or you get a mid-size SUV. You go buy a brand new Mercedes, BMW SUV. Top trim, all the bells and whistles, You get it in a color that you think is better. You get the interior in a way that you think is better. You take your time and you make sure that this vehicle is exactly what you want. Envy drove you to make that purchase. You compared yourself to someone else and you said, I want that. You didn't need that. There was nothing wrong with what you presently had. Let's say that you already had a Mercedes, it was just 4 years old, or a BMW and it was just 4 years old. You didn't need to have the newest thing. But seeing someone else have something newer, and then you go and purchase something newer because of it, that is envy. And it happens so frequently. It happens every single day. Every single day there are people at a car dealership purchasing a new car. Every single day there are people at the Apple store or a Samsung store buying a brand new phone or a new tablet or a new laptop. Every single day. Anger. We have a big stick, and because we have that stick, we want to use it, whether it's in a small capacity or a large capacity. Anger and brute force, we perceive and have always understood as being the simplest way to solve a problem, because it's normally a show of superiority, or it's a expression of influence and power. Peace is always the justification for violence. Well, we've been doing violence for a very long time, and I don't see a lot of peace. I see a lot of quiet. I see a lot of submission. I see a lot of suppression. By nature, we are violent creatures, and part of evolution is that we have to change our nature, because we are as advanced as we have become because of the way we communicate. We cannot evolve biologically to remediate these or to solve these circumstances. We have to take active measures and engage, put in the hard work, put in the effort, and make the change from violence to peace. Yet, we don't want to have peace. We don't want things to be good, because since we are violent creatures by nature, we want to continue that. We will always revert back and go back to what is within our nature. I'm sure you've heard the phrase before of bad news is good news. And that's the case because it appeals to anger. Someone who is angry is going to make a decision that they otherwise might not. Someone who is angry is going to tweet about it or post about it online. Oh, this thing just happened, and these people are idiots and fill in the blank, fill in the blank. I'm not going to sit here and go down a list of things because I don't need to have that in my life. But there are people that do that every second of the day, every single day. We see a new news article or a new news broadcast, and it says, oh, political figure did X. Famous individual is going through Y. Overseas conflict is resulting in Z and how we can change it. All of these things are designed to divide us as a culture and to make us have, not conversation, to make us make a lot of noise. We are saying a lot. We are very loud when we're angry, but we're not actually communicating anything. We're not. We're not actually making change happen. We're just sitting here and saying, you're wrong and I'm right. Or this upsets me and this is why someone else fill in the blank. Sloth. We can have everything and anything that we want delivered to our doorstep, if not literally brought inside and installed for us. Think about this right now. Whatever delivery service you enjoy, let's say it's Uber Eats, right? Or Amazon. Take your pick. I genuinely don't care. This is a blanket statement that will apply. And I don't say that to be dismissive or disregard anyone's personal this or that. I'm saying just whichever one you use. Next time you're looking at that app, think about the item that you're looking at or what you're about to purchase. And then think about 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, how much effort it would have taken for you to go out and find that item and bring it back home and do the whole process. Think about the amount of independent research you would have had to do if you wanted to make a fully informed decision on that item. And now you can just, oh, I like the way this looks. Buy. And it shows up the next day. It's just there. You can do the entire thing from your sofa. You can do the entire thing sitting at a desk. You can do the entire thing from your bed. And you don't have to do much more than lift a finger. And this is what society perpetuates. This is what our culture perpetuates. Oh, you don't want to drive somewhere? Okay, let's sell you a car that'll drive for you. Oh, you can pay someone else to drive you somewhere instead. Continue down the list. Sorry about that, something was outside. But we don't have to actually do anything anymore. We can just click a button and something is provided and done for us. We don't have to put in effort. greed. Again, our entire culture is built on having something. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Our entire culture is built around consumption. You want the brand new phone. In a year, it's going to be outdated. So, what you initially wanted is no longer good enough. Let's say, oh, I don't like how this lamp looks. So you go and you buy a new lamp. That's been fulfilled. Excellent. Oh, I could use a little more color in this room. Okay, let me buy a painting, or let me buy a canvas. Oh, I don't have that, but I want that. And the cycle perpetuates and continues itself. So much of the time, things that we buy just pile up. They just take up space. And as a result now, well, we have private storage units. None of us need a private storage unit because we're just storing all the excess stuff that we have. We're paying to store things that we don't use. And these storage units are being built in places that they don't need to be. They're being built in residential areas, historical districts. You know, it's unnecessary. Now, I will admit I can completely understand the viewpoint of, oh, you know, I have a really nice vehicle, it's an investment that I've made, and it's something that I want to keep in a really good condition. That is completely understandable. That makes sense. Let's say that you have a business, and you're not dealing with perishable goods, you're dealing with physical items. It makes sense to have a storage unit because if you buy something in bulk, you know, there's a very high chance that you likely don't need all of it all at once. So having a storage unit or having somewhere to restock, go to, and then pull from as you need is an outstanding resource. For business purposes, that makes perfect sense. But we are a culture of consumption in both the physical and, well, the next thing I'm going to talk about, in both the physical and the and in a nourishment factor, in a nourishment way. Gluttony. I really don't want to have to spell this one out because I think it's just cut and dry, straightforward, but we can buy food on almost any single street corner these days. Whether it's a fast food place or a gas station, whatever it is, we can get food everywhere. Drive-thrus. We don't even have to leave our vehicles anymore. The quantity that we consume as well is obscene. 20 years ago, the daily calorie consumption for a 6 foot tall adult male was 2,000 calories. As of 4 years ago, when I was overweight and I was starting a health journey, I was only burning around 1,400 calories, 1,300 calories. Even now, years later, I am in better shape and I am taking care of myself. I am still only burning around 1,800 calories because of my lifestyle. I am not burning a full 2,000 calories. Next time you go to a fast food place, think about how frequently you visit a place like that. Think about the meal that you get. And now look at the calorie value associated with it. We are consuming 2 to 3 times as many calories as, first off, we need, but not just that, of what we're burning on a day-to-day basis. So gluttony feeds into obesity, being overweight. It just does. And not just that, but on average, Americans waste somewhere between 30 and 40% of the food that we have. Let me put that in perspective real quick. Next time that you go and get fast food, put your drink, your fries, or your side, and half of your main entree to one side. And now look at the other half of your main entree and imagine just putting it in the trash can. Whenever you go home and see family for the holidays, or if you're hosting family for the holidays, let's say it's Thanksgiving. Imagine taking a third of the turkey, or a third of the tray of mac and cheese, or whatever it is. Just imagine taking a third of what you see in front of you that's perfectly good, that you can eat, and just chuck it in the garbage can. That is how much we waste on average. And it's an insult. We are wasting so much, and because of that, we are then going back through and starting the cycle again. But all of that waste, we can cut it down. We can do something with it, because a lot of the time, we're not even throwing away bad food. Sometimes, yes, I'll acknowledge that. You leave something in the fridge too long and you open it up and you go, oh, this is a biohazard. I get it. I understand it. But the fact that it got to that point is also a concern. We can be doing so much more to not waste as much, to feed people who really need it. But we are a culture of gluttony. And the last one is lust. Intimacy and attraction are no longer a need for survival. Back in the day, intimacy was for the sole purpose of when you had intent to reproduce. That is what it was. And nowadays, because there is way more competition for specific individuals who look, behave, or have certain things, it has become monetized. There is also a very fine difference between lust and love. Lust is the desire for intimacy based on a physical or visual attraction to another person. Love is the actions, care, and shows of affection that you give to another individual. Examples of both of these. Lust is, if you're in a relationship, it's your hall pass. It's your, oh, if I got, to spend a night with this individual, who is that one individual? That's your hall pass. That is lust. Lust is wanting someone because they look a certain way, or they have a certain body type, or they behave in a certain manner, and it excites you. That is lust. Love, on the other hand, let's say that you or your partner, or even a friend, someone that you're exceptionally close to, is going through a really difficult time, or they have really severe mental and emotional trauma from something, or even simply enough, a close friend is going through their time of month. Love is being there and supporting them through that. Understanding that this is something that they are dealing with, they are managing, and being there to support them through it. Let's say that it was their day to make dinner, or you guys are going to be cleaning up your living space. It's cleaning day. And your partner just has, I'll call it an episode. They just have an episode that day. And they just need to have them time. They need to be able to work through it. Love is, let me make you a cup of tea. Let me, take care of you. Let me make sure that you have what you need to be in your safe space, to feel comfortable, to feel taken care of and cared for. I'll handle everything else. That is love. The other component of love is that you're doing this without being asked. If this isn't expressed to you and you don't notice it, and then someone asks, and then your partner asks, and they say, hey, I'm dealing with this, can you do a few things for me? That is still love, yes. But if you notice it and you know that your partner could use some things in that moment, and you just don't do anything to support or provide that until they ask for it, that is not love. That is lust. You are with someone else because of the fulfillment that you get out of one another. And I will acknowledge too, maybe you're just having an off day. It happens. We are human. We make mistakes. We have errors. But everything, all 7 sins, at least as an American, we embody this every single day of our lives. This is how we live. This is how we exist. And that is a fact of the matter. It is conditioned and ingrained into us from the moment we can start receiving input and providing an output. And we don't even realize it because that is just, quote, our culture. We are embodiments of the 7 deadly sins. And the only way to change that and to make things better is firstly actually being aware of it, acknowledging and understanding where and how our actions have impact. And then the second step is taking active measures to change it. Because we will never break this cycle unless we can first see that the cycle is there and then actually want to do something about that. Thank you for your time.